What's going on, guys? It's Ari here, bringing you a new episode of Hauntingly Wisconsin. Today's episode is going to be a little bit different. Felicia's not here recording with me. I've had a cold for the past couple of weeks, so we haven't been able to get together and record some stuff. But I'm going to be talking today about the Octagon House. There's quite a few Octagon Houses around the world, and there's quite a few in Wisconsin alone if you ever actually looked into different Octagon houses. But the one we're focusing on today is in Fond du Lac, and it is considered one of the most haunted places in Fond du Lac. This particular Octagon house was built in 1856 by a man named Isaac Brown. He built it on top of an established settlement and trading post for the Native American tribes in Wisconsin. There are many secrets within the house that are unexplained. They don't know why there's so many secret passages in different places in there. Some of them include a false fireplace in the parlor that conceals a wooden staircase leading to tunnels within the basement that lead out into a river. There's a small storage room underneath the porch and a crawl space hidden behind fake drawers that lead to a secret room. And inside of the secret room, there's a message dating around 1888 with directions to a safe house. There's, like I said, no real explanation for all of the secrets within the house. Isaac had a son named Edwin who married a woman named Ruth. And before Isaac passed away, as a late wedding gift to the couple, he left them the Octagon House. Edwin and his wife had 3 kids. Edwin went off to fight in the Civil War, where he ended up passing away in battle. Their 3 children also did not survive their childhood, and people believe that it is their family that haunts the Octagon House. They believe that Ruth and their children are restless for the fact that Edwin died in the Civil War and never came home. After the passing of Ruth's entire family, people are unsure in history whether or not she ended up remarrying, moving out, or passing away. But in 1872, a man named Richard Morris moved into the Octagon House. He lived there until 1887, and after that, it remained vacant until 1900 when the house became a rental property. It was rented out for 67 years, but it was not upkept, so by the 1970s, the state condemned the house. In 1972, the owner of the Octagon House was able to get the house on the National Register of Historic Places. Even though the building was on the registry, people did not take into consideration for that because it was so improperly kept that there was a school that was interested in tearing down the house and taking the land and building, I believe it was a high school, regardless of the status, because no one was purchasing the house because it was very rundown. There was a committee that was created called Save the Octagon House that was trying to rally and keep the house so that people weren't tearing it down because it was on the registry. However, there was no success in earning the money or purchasing the house. However, before the house ended up being torn down to start breaking ground for the school, a woman named Marlene Hansen ended up purchasing the house. She was under the impression that the Save the Octagon House committee would end up reimbursing her on the purchase of the house. However, that was not the case. She ended up getting loans and grants. With those grants, she ended up restoring the house and turning it into a museum in order to fulfill the requirements for the money that she received to fix the house. But also, she used the money to help keep the house open and to keep up with the restoration and everything else going on there. She had all of the different antiques that were part of the house on display, and she also did different events for holidays, including reading ghost stories, in which the ghosts or the spirits would end up making their presence known. The different things that make this house haunted are different reports of being touched by cold, unseen hands. I've also read accounts saying that Marlene and I believe her daughter had both at some point been pushed down the stairs by invisible forces, which were assumed to be Ruth being unhappy that people are occupying her house. It's also said that you can hear the sounds of children playing, which are believed to be Ruth and Edwin's 3 children. There's a figure that can be seen from time to time, which is believed to be Ruth's figure. I've read different accounts saying that she's made herself present, whether it's to show her approval or disapproval of what's going on in the house. It was her house at one point. People have seen eyes staring out from the dark cellars in the basement. There's been reports of doors opening and closing by themselves. People can see lights and hear sounds in the dark. You can hear footfalls behind you or around you when you're alone in the house. There are shadows everywhere around the house. And there have been reports of the spirit of a young boy being seen around the house from time to time. That's believed to be Edwin's son. There have been no major reports of malice from the spirits. However, the incidences with being pushed down the stairs and different things like that aren't necessarily happy or good experiences. But I have read reports saying that there have been approval visits from the spirit. It is believed that Ruth has made her appearance known and shown approval for the different restorations across the house. As of today, the museum is currently closed. Marlene has decided that it was time to sell the house and to move on from the project after buying the house back in the 70s. It is still currently on the market, so if you are interested in purchasing this haunted house for yourself, you can always go online and find the realtor and share your interest. That's it from me today. This is Ari signing off. Hauntingly, Wisconsin.